They're forcing him to give his fiancée to his dying brother. His family is shamelessly laying a major guilt trip on him. His younger brother dramatically gets down on his knees, desperately begging. He claims it's his last wish, but the older brother knows the truth. Years ago, this same brother cruelly dumped the woman he now says he loves, running off to chase his own dreams. He was just a stand-in, a puppet, used to save the family's honor. And now that the runaway brother is back, they want to use him and toss him aside all over again. He absolutely refuses. He loves her and will never let her go, not even if he dies. But his cruel father doesn't care. He orders his men to grab his own son, violently dragging him away and locking him in a room. He's a prisoner in his own home. Days turn into weeks. He's trapped, but then he sees on the news that his fiancée is fighting for him, telling everyone that he's her one and only husband. He knows he can't let her fight alone. In a moment of pure desperation, he hurts himself, hoping it'll force them to act. It works. She shows up, but the look on her face isn't a happy one. She sadly explains she has to go through with the wedding, a fake wedding, to make his dying brother and their families happy. It's just an act, she promises. Her heart will always be his. He watches in pure agony as the woman he loves walks down the aisle and marries his brother. Later that night, she comes to him, explaining she was only with his brother because his health got worse, but he's filled with doubt. Her excuses are wearing thin. As she leaves to check on the brother again, he discovers a horrifying truth. His marriage certificate is a fake. He rushes to his brother's office, only to see them through the door kissing passionately. And he hears her confess. She had never really gotten over his brother. She only married him to make the brother jealous and win him back. What was real? Was their entire relationship a lie, a pawn in her twisted game to get back her first love? He walked into the art gallery, and his whole world fell apart. Every painting was of his wife, with his brother. But the dates under each portrait were the worst betrayal of all. June 20th, the third day he was locked up by his own family, suffering and alone. July 15th, the day she promised him their fake marriage was just an act. While he was a prisoner, she was her lover's muse. The scar on her back in the painting, he remembers her getting it after their wedding night. But now he knows it wasn't from an accident, it was from a night with another man. He gets a call. His parents want to see him. They hand him a plane ticket. Your brother is dying, they say leave, so he can spend his last moments with the woman he loves. He's being erased, thrown away like trash. Days later, he goes to his brother's farewell ceremony. His father gives a touching speech about his unfortunate but lucky son. But suddenly, the memorial video messes up. A strange man appears on screen, his voice dripping with hatred. Chen Xian, you bastard. You should go to hell, he screams. He reveals the brother didn't just dump his fiancée, he destroyed another woman, the man's daughter, and stole his wife. He curses him to suffer for eternity. Everything blows up. The brother collapses in agony. But instead of facing the truth, their father turns on his innocent son, slapping him across the face in a blind rage. How could you do this to your brother? He yells, ordering his men to grab him again. It wasn't him. He's been framed, but as he's dragged away, he sees his wife's face. Is that pity in her eyes, or something way more evil? Viciously stomping on his hand before slamming the door shut, leaving him to panic in the suffocating darkness. He wakes up in the hospital, his body aching all over. The doctor tells him he has severe stomach bleeding, but all he can think about is his wife. Where is she? Then, he gets a text. It's from his brother. A picture of his wife sleeping peacefully in bed. She's awake now. The text reads, "She had a nightmare, and I had to comfort her." Suddenly, the sickening truth hits him like a ton of bricks. He races home, only to find his brother has destroyed every photo of them, erasing him from the life they built. The brother laughs, a cruel, mocking sound. "She never loved you," he sneers. "You were just a pathetic substitute." In a blind rage, he lunges at him, but gets knocked unconscious. He wakes up to the smell of smoke, trapped in a burning warehouse. His brother stands over him, holding the last painting, their final memory, ready to throw it into the flames. "This is how I erase you," he says with a grin. But just as the flames touch the canvas, she arrives. She sees her lover's burnt arm and rushes to his side, ignoring her husband on the floor. "You did this," she screams at him, her eyes filled with hate. "If anything happens to him, I'll make sure you pay." His own father shows up and beats him senseless, calling him a bastard and throwing him out of the family. As he kneels in the pouring rain, bloody, betrayed, and completely alone, he finally breaks. He grabs a stick and hits his father. "With this, I repay you for giving me life," he yells, his voice cracking with despair. "From this day on, we are strangers." He sacrificed everything for them, but was it all just a game to break him, to prove that he, like his mother, was just trash to be thrown away? With a nasty smirk, he reveals the devastating truth. "Your marriage certificate is fake. I am her legal husband." The man is completely shattered. Just moments before, he was desperately trying to escape this house of horrors, his face bruised and swollen. But she cornered him, her eyes filled with ice. She snatched the one thing he treasured most in the world, a worn-out teddy bear. He had no idea she secretly knew what was inside it. The ashes of his dead mother. "You should know what it feels like to have something precious destroyed," she said coldly. He begged, he pleaded, explaining it was the last thing he had of his mother. But she showed no mercy. She fiercely threw the bear onto a basin of burning coals. A gut-wrenching scream tore out of his throat as he lunged to save it, shoving his hands into the fire. Broken and defeated, he finally gets ready to leave, only to be stopped by his younger brother, who's sitting smugly in a wheelchair. "Do you really think I have a terminal illness?" he sneers, and then, in a shocking twist, he stands up, perfectly fine. It was all a lie, a cruel, detailed plan to frame his own brother and manipulate the woman they both love. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, the woman gets hit with a bombshell. A doctor frantically tells her that the man she just threw aside is critically ill himself. He had a severe stomach perforation and was suffering from extreme anemia. He never should have donated blood. Staring at his critical condition report, she finally understands the horrifying truth. She runs, desperately chasing after him. She sees his taxi pulling away, leaving forever. She calls his phone, but he coldly rejects it. She's left screaming his name on the street. All alone. Has she lost him for good? "He cooked your breakfast every single morning." The woman is stunned. The spoon clatters against her bowl. The maid continues, "He was the only one who knew exactly how you liked it. He woke up at 5 a.m. every day, just for you." A huge wave of regret crashes over her. She remembers forcing all his stuff into storage, turning his room into an art studio for his dying brother. She had no idea she was being expertly manipulated. She promised to stay by the brother's side until the end, believing he was the victim. Later that day, her employees surprise her with a cake. "It's for your husband's birthday." They cheer. She stares in total shock. "But I thought it was his brother's birthday." Her assistant explains the devastating truth. "He never celebrates his own birthday. He told us he always felt too sad on this day." Suddenly, it all clicks. She remembers him trying to talk to her that morning, how she coldly brushed him off, completely caught up in his brother's lies. It was his birthday, not his brother's. He has already left the country, and she has pushed him away forever. Staring at her phone, she realizes he's unreachable. His number disconnected. "Is it too late to fix the damage? It's our wedding night?" he whispers, moving closer, but she fiercely pushes him away. He thought he had won. He thought she was finally his. But her heart belongs to someone else. His face darkens with rage as he secretly slips a mysterious powder into her drink. Just hours earlier, his family showered him with gifts for his birthday, 3 companies from his father and gold bars from his stepmother. They toasted to his future, pressuring her for a grandchild. But she ruins the celebration with a single question. "Did you know today is also his brother's birthday?" The room falls silent. They had completely forgotten. Her assistant later reveals the heartbreaking truth. Her husband never celebrates his birthday. It's the same day his mother died. He has no hobbies, no personal interests. Every meal he ever ordered for them was based on her favorite foods. A devastating realization hits her. He has spent his entire life in his brother's shadow, quietly loving her from a distance. She desperately tries to call him, but he's gone and refuses to answer. Her heart aches with regret. She finally understands everything he gave up for her, but she has no idea of the immediate danger she is in. Back at the house, the brother she rejected walks up to her with a sinister smile. He hands her the glass, his eyes gleaming with a dark promise. "You look tired," he says smoothly. "Drink this." She takes it, completely unaware of the trap he has set. What will happen to her now? "You've disappointed me so much," he whispers, his face a mask of cold fury. But this isn't her husband. This is his identical twin brother, and he has just drugged her and forced himself on her. She had no idea that while her real husband was away, his brother had secretly taken his place, using a fake terminal cancer diagnosis to get her pity. He was carrying out an evil plan with his mother to take everything. "I did it, Mom. I slept with her," he boasts on the phone. "Once she's pregnant with your grandchild, what can the real Chen Xingjian do to stop us?" Just days earlier, she had brutally crushed her actual husband's dreams, forcing him to choose between his passion for writing and their marriage. "This is just a dream," he pleaded. "Face reality," she screamed. "I don't need a husband who only knows how to daydream." Devastated, he gave up everything for her, completely unaware of the plot happening behind his back. But now, a seed of doubt has been planted in her mind. His late-stage cancer doesn't seem to be affecting him at all. He looks perfectly healthy. Suspicious, she cleverly asks for his medical records, claiming she found a new specialist. He sends them and she immediately forwards them to a trusted doctor. Moments later, her phone buzzes with a chilling message. The report looks normal on the surface, but there's a massive hidden problem. What did the doctor discover? And why is her next call to the director of a funeral home? He wasn't an only child. His mother wasn't just his father's mistress, and his birth mother. A terrified man finally confesses everything. He was being blackmailed, forced by the woman's evil mother-in-law and her other son, her husband's identical twin. They used his own dying child to control him, making him their pawn in a twisted game. Save your son's life, the brother sneered, by helping me destroy mine. He was forced to set a fire and plant a cursed video to frame the innocent husband for arson and make everyone believe he was dying of cancer. The goal? To steal his wife, his company, and his entire life. He stole my inheritance and my woman. The twins seethed. Now I'm back to take what's mine. And she fell for all of it, overwhelmed with guilt. The woman now realizes the horrifying truth. The man she tortured, the man she hated, was the one who truly loved her. What have I done? She cries, completely shattered. She had locked him in a dark room, burned the only thing he had left of his mother, and even took his blood to save the very man who was plotting to destroy him. Desperately, she tries to call him, to beg for forgiveness, but it's too late. He's blocked her. He wants nothing to do with her. He's gone. But her tears of sadness quickly turn to ice-cold anger. Every bit of pain they put my husband through. She vows I will make them pay. Just then, her phone rings. It's the evil twin, who has no idea that she knows everything. I have some great news for you, he says cheerfully. The hospital made a mistake. My cancer was a misdiagnosis. The twin brother announces, his face beaming. But she looks at him with ice in her eyes. Since you're not dying, she says calmly, is it time for my real husband to come back? The entire family freezes, their evil plot instantly exposed. They thought she was a fool. They had no idea she knew he was an imposter, that she was already married to his twin. They casually planned to throw her real husband away like trash. He can't come back to this house, his own father declared. But they never imagined she would choose the man they had thrown away. Now, she will make them pay. First, she has to find him. But her world shatters when her assistant falls to his knees, confessing a devastating secret. I'm sorry, I lied to you. He's gone. He begged me to help him disappear, because he was terrified of you. The words destroy her. Every cruel thing she ever did to him flashes before her eyes. Meanwhile, her real husband, alone and heartbroken in another country, is suddenly attacked by an assassin sent by his own brother. He cannot be allowed to live, the twin had ordered. Just as the knife lunges, a woman rushes in and saves his life. She looks at him with a mysterious smile. I finally found you, she says, holding out a publishing contract. I'm the editor who read your manuscript, and your ex-girlfriend. Has he found his savior, or has he just been caught in a new, more dangerous web? She had desperately hunted him down, secretly buying out his entire book signing and trapping him in a private room just for this moment. She tries to explain, her voice choked with tears. I know everything now. You were framed. But he coldly laughs at her. So what? The damage you did can never be undone. He had no idea this mysterious wealthy fan was the same woman who destroyed his life. He thought he had finally escaped, becoming a successful author with a kind, gentle woman now by his side. He believed his painful past was finally behind him. But she found him, and now she's desperately clinging to him, her heart breaking into a million pieces. I was blind. I was foolish. I just want a chance to make it right. She begs him not to push her away, pleading that their 4 years together weren't all a lie. He rips her hands off him, his eyes filled with pure hatred. What could she have possibly done for him to call her a venomous snake? And after such a devastating rejection, can she ever win him back?